First, a cross pin is the most satisfying of all pins. You pin a piece in two directions. These seem visually impossible and can be hard to spot. Here, black cross pinned with queen to d7. Queen c8 also worked.
I'm going to tell you guys again. I've never heard this phrase in my life. Okay, what is this?
Games are won by a chess tactic. That means that if you learn the tactics in this video, you will win more chess games and you'll do it with style and brilliant moves. What could be better than more wins and more brilliant moves in your chess games? So, what is a chess tactic? A chess tactic is a forcing move or a sequence of moves in a chess game that achieves some desired outcome, usually the win of material. But the outcome might be something.
By the way, someone actually said something which I'll respond to very briefly, which is they said they made a joke. I think they said something, hey Hikaru, do you use that salt yourself or just? I assume when you're talking about salt, you're making a joke about being salty over games. I would say as a pro chess player, definitely I use that salt. I'm not one to pretend that I don't that I wasn't salty or any of that stuff. But what I would say is that in general, like I've said it before, as a streamer, this is my job now. This is how I make a living. Like, I mean, yes, of course I'm still competitive. I want to win obviously, but my viewpoint is just very different, and maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe that taking the edge off is not the greatest thing in the world, but on some level I probably play better because of it. So let's keep going with the video.
Something like checkmate, a positional advantage, or even a draw from a desperate position. Most tactics are recognizable.
Yeah, I'm a little bit skeptical of this video, you guys, because this feels like, you know what, here are six tactics. This is going to make you 2,500. Buy my video, call 1-800, call the number on your screen now, get, you know, 60 days free of your tactics and whatever else. It looks like one of those infomercials from when I was a kid, kind of. It's like, you know, 6 tactics would be great. Dial this number now, you get your free copy of my course and everything else. I mean, maybe Levy should do that actually, but anyway, let's keep going.
Patterns in a chess game, and they have names. Being able to name and identify different chess tactics will help you spot them more quickly in your own games. Here is a crash course with chess tactics featuring spectacular and instructive examples of each. Our first chess tactic is barely won, but even games between Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura have been decided.
Wait, what?
A hanging piece.
That's why my mods wanted me to watch this video. I'm like, what is this nonsense? That's why they want me to watch it. It's because clearly Magnus and I like to hang pieces. It's a shame I didn't pause the video sooner, because I would have loved to have tried to guess it, but that's the reason. Yes, it's probably because Magnus hung the bishop with bishop c7. And when was the last time I hung a free piece against Magnus? I'm trying to think. Did I hang a queen against him maybe in like an SEC game or something? I'm not sure. Maybe. I mean, I remember the bishop c7 where he just played bishop c7 or his knight a6 takes, but I don't pre-watch. No, I don't pre-watch. I don't pre-watch this stuff. I hung mate in 1 in a title Tuesday. The queen takes h7. You're right, that's true. Good point.
Is simply a piece that is under attack and can be freely captured, winning material. If you don't hang your pieces and you capture the ones your opponent hangs, you will win most of your games as a new.
By the way, am I crazy? This guy, Sam Copeland, he sounds a lot like that vegan guy. Wasn't there some guy who did like, there was that guy who did those like don't eat, they were very satirical. It was like don't eat. I think it was like, no, he was a guy who said something, he made fun of vegan people. He was like, it was satire, but he would make fun of vegans. No, he wore like a bandana or something. He was like this white guy, and he would like make fun of vegans. Someone's got to know what I'm talking about. That doesn't narrow it down. No, I mean Sam Copeland. What was his name? What's his name? No, he would make fun of it was like why you should eat meat. Maybe I'm gonna Google it. Give me a second. No, it was JP. It was JP something. What was his name? It was JP something. It was like what was his name? I think it was JP, or is it JP? It was like his name. If meat eaters, yeah, it was this one, right?
That salad's totally.
Yeah, it was JP. It was this guy JP. No, it was this guy. Don't they sound the same? I'm gonna put this up for 1 second. Don't they sound the same, you guys? Do they sound the same?
Grossing me out. I've completely lost my appetite.
Or not.
How long have you been a meat eater for? I only eat meat. I'm going to the Meat Stock Flesh Festival. Are you going? Yeah, I want the tofu spring rolls.
Don't they sound...
Except I don't eat tofu, so do you have like a tofu flavored chicken you can substitute?
Don't they sound kind of similar or not? I mean, maybe I'm crazy here. I could swear Sam Copeland sounds like this guy a little bit. I mean, I swear I watched this stuff like not 20 years ago, but 10 years ago. But anyway, all right, let's get back to our video. Where were we? Let's keep going with our video. The cadence is similar. Okay, so I'm not completely crazy.
Comer to chess.com. Related to hanging pieces is an important term, LPDO. Loose pieces drop off. It's one of the most helpful.
By the way, I'm going to tell you guys, I've been playing chess my whole life, and I've literally never heard this phrase, LPDO. Like, is this supposed to be like DEI or something? Like, what is this? I mean, what is this? La pedo? Okay, thank you guys, thank you. Good one. Let's keep going.
Phrases and tactics. It's a reminder to keep your pieces defended and to keep an eye out for undefended pieces in your opponent's camp.
Gotta move.
Oh,
no more checks. Oh, and what's happened there?
What happened?
Oh, the queen
We
slip.
see a reaction. Magnus' mouth. Oh no!
A hanging checkmate is similar to a hanging piece.
By the way, big shout out to people in chat who like Dream1900 says you should study more. Yeah, I've never heard of LPDO. I've never heard of it. The village people LPDO. Yeah. Yeah.
It is just
I'm looking very thin.
No!
A hanging checkmate is similar to a hanging piece. It is just a checkmate that your opponent has not defended against. Like this time, that Hikaru hung checkmate against Magnus, but Magnus didn't see it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Next, we have the big four of chess tactics. These are by far the most common.
The big four? I swear you guys, what world do I live in? I don't want to sound like a boomer here, but the big four of chess tactics, I like literally never heard any of this stuff. Literally, this is like Elpido I've never heard of. The big four of chess tactics. I mean, what is this stuff? What is this nonsense? Yeah, it's like the big four accounting for chess. I actually do. I mean, you're talking about big four accounting firms. Yeah, I mean, that I do know because I actually do study that stuff. But anyway, let's keep going.
Tactics, and if you just learn these tactics from this video, you will win a lot more chess games. First, a double attack is exactly what it sounds like. You create two threats with one move. For example, attacking two pieces, or maybe attacking a piece and threatening checkmate. Next, a fork is the most common form of double attack. One piece moves and attacks two different pieces.
Of
In
course
this
I know
classic
these.
example,
I mean, I know these themes, but like the big four, I mean, the big four of I mean, the big four of tactics. Like, I'm telling you, when I grew up, like, I'm so old that I remember opening a book and you set up the position on your chessboard and you try to play out the moves. Like, there was none of this fancy new age hippie nonsensical term. There were none of these new age hippie nonsensical terms.
sacrifices the queen to make way for this gorgeous knight check. The knight attacks both the king and queen, a special case known as a royal fork. White bags the queen on the next turn.
Wait, so yeah, so this is the royal fork. They're not going to talk about the family fork, right? That would probably get the video demonetized.
Pin is when an attacked piece cannot move, because doing so would allow the capture of a more valuable piece hiding behind it.
Wait, what the?
An absolute
Wait, what the heck was that? Wait, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What is this?
Capture of a more valuable piece hiding behind it.
Wait a second.
An absolute pin is one where
Wait, I'm sorry. I don't even get it. Wait a second. I'm confused. So this is a pin, right? But why is I don't actually understand what the video is trying to imply. The rook is pinned by the queen. I don't get it. That's what
valuable piece hiding behind it.
Okay, so the bishop is behind the queen. Okay, so the bishop is pinning the queen. I'm actually a little bit confused. Wait, so right, the queen can't escape. Okay. I know what the heck is that?
An absolute pin is one where moving the pin piece.
By the way, just one question about that in case someone's actually seen this. How do you I assume this is acting, right? There's no way you can be bicycling that badly, right? I mean, that's got to be on purpose. He must be a stunt man, because I don't think I could try to swerve that badly the way that guy did on his bicycle. It's real, it can happen. 5 drinks in, okay, yeah, thank you.
An absolute pin is one where moving the pin piece is illegal because the piece in hiding is the king, and you are not allowed to make a move that puts the king in check. A relative pin is one where you can move the pin piece. You just don't want to because you will lose material. Here's a great example from a world championship challenger, Viktor Korchnoi. He captured this defended pawn because after the queen captured, rook d7 pinned the queen, and white was guaranteed to capture the queen on the next move. You will also see spectacular examples of unpins, tactics that break a pin, like this one.
By the way, you're right. I've never said relative pin. You've probably never heard me say that because, like, I just didn't grow up with this lingo. I swear, if I read a beginner book 20 years ago or 30 years ago, because that's when I started playing chess, I don't think I've ever heard the phrase relative pin. I've just heard pin. Like, there's a pin. There's just a pin here, a pin there. That's a pin. I mean, relative pin is not something that I know. It's not. I mean, I'm sure it exists. Like, I'm sure it exists, but I, like, in terms of my, like, the nomenclature or the jargon that I grew up with, I don't remember. I actually don't remember hearing relative pin. I just know a pin is a pin. That's good enough for me. A pen and a paper, okay.
Shocked black by sacrificing the queen to free the pinned rook on f2 to deliver a checkmate on the back rank. Finally, among our big four, we have discoveries or discovered attacks.
Wait, what is
These are when a piece moves out of the path of a...
Wait, what? I'm confused again. I'm really confused. So the bishop, okay. I don't understand these. I'm sorry. Both of these are really confused. Both of these videos have me really confused. By the way, so of course a discovered attack is called a fossil in XQC's universe, just for anybody who's watching. So yeah, let's keep going. Again, so ridiculous it's funny, kind of, I agree.
These are when a piece moves out of the path of another piece, unveiling a threat in hiding. Our previous example of a double attack included a discovered attack, as one of the threats, bishop takes f7 check, is a discovered attack to win the black queen. Discovered checks are special types of discoveries, where the revealed attack is a check, and double checks are the most powerful form of discovery. Both the piece moving to reveal the attack and the attacker give check. Double checks force the opponent's king to move out of the check, allowing you to follow up by executing any threat that the opponent wishes they could have stopped last move instead of moving their king. I used a double check recently to finish a spectacular forced checkmate. After sacking my queen, I gave this double check, which forced my opponent's king to the H-file, where I was able to checkmate.
As someone in chat says, imagine watching this and feeling empowered to go play and win some games. Actually, yes. I mean, I would say that this video, if you're a low-rated player, it probably does that. And then you try to go play and then you lose horribly, and you're like, what is this?
This next batch of tactics is all about lines, setting up threats to pieces arranged on the same rank, file, or diagonal on the board. Pins and discoveries are already examples of linear tactics, but these are a bit more sophisticated and rare. First, a cross pin is the most satisfying of all pins. You pin a piece in two directions. These seem visually impossible and can be hard to spot. Here, black cross pinned with queen to d7. Queen c8 also worked.
I'm going to tell you guys again, I've never heard this phrase in my life. I mean, a cross pin, I've never heard this. It's like, it's a pin. This is a pin. That's a pin. That's a pin. They're all pins at the end of the day. This relative pin, cross pin. I mean, what's next? A hairpin? I mean, like, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. By the way, to be clear, this is a fun video. This is not one of those things where it's saying go buy my course. To be fair, it's like CrossFit. No, I'm actually confused. Like, I've never heard these phrases before. I haven't. But anyway, no way he just did a triple reverse cross pin. Exactly. But no, he's not selling anything. This is a fun chess.com video. Just for anybody who's wondering, this is just a fun chess.com video. So maybe he's making up on purpose. Let's keep going.
This led to a winning attack after white captured and the queen leapt in to assault the white king. A skewer is
the queen. The language there a little bit. That language is a little bit dubious there, I think. That language. This video is actually like, I assume this. I assume this video is this is intended to be like, this is intentional, right? This can't be intended as a serious video, right? No, I mean seriously, you just said the queen jumps in to assault the king. Like what?
Captured and the queen c8 also worked. This led to a winning attack after white captured and the queen leapt in to assault the white king. A skewer is the opposite of a pin. You threaten a less valuable piece, forcing it to move, but then
what? Maybe I need to incorporate this into my into my analysis when I'm streaming games that I play. Yeah, it's like you leapt into you leapt in to assault the king. Okay, all right.
You capture a piece hiding behind it. Many skewers are checks where you force the king out of the way so that you can snack on a piece behind it. In this classic combination, white sacrificed a rook to set up a pawn fork and draw the black king into a skewer. A final rook fork concluded this crushing tactical sequence. Interference is my favorite chess tactic, and it's likely the prettiest of all tactics. In interference, you sacrifice a piece to disrupt a defensive line for your opponent. One of the most beautiful moves of all time, queen g6 check, forced checkmate in 2 because the queen sacrifice disrupted the rook's defense. As a result, white was able to capture with the knight and give checkmate on the next turn. A relatively uncommon pattern is the X-ray. This happens when an attacker sees through a defender to a square behind it. This particularly often happens in cases of back rank checkmates. Former FIDE world champion Rustam Kazimjanov used an X-ray from this rook to sacrifice his queen.
Right. Pass interference on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
On d8, creating back rank tricks that won back the queen with extra material. Finally, the windmill is a glorious tactic.
But rare, actually, guys, I'm confused. Did he explain exactly what the big four are? Like, he's going through all this, but I didn't recall hearing him like literally say what the big four are. Maybe he did, and I just missed it. But
exceptionally deadly. A windmill happens when a player plays a sequence of discovered attacks, moving a piece back and forth to check the king and then discover a check while picking off a piece. An effective windmill can consume an opponent's entire army, devastating them like a buzzsaw. White leaps in with the rook here and sacrifices...
Wait, what? What was that? Sorry, what? Excuse me? Sorry, what?
Off a piece. An effective windmill can consume an opponent's entire army, devastating them like a buzzsaw. White leaps in with the rook here and sacrifices an entire queen. But then the rook is able to alternate checks with the bishop on a3 and capture a bishop, pawn, and queen in turn. While the previous tactics were all about lines, this next set of tactics is all about squares. Chess is a game of squares after all, and disrupting your opponent's control over a critical square is often a winning theme in chess. In this section, you will see tactics based around pulling a piece to a key square, pushing a piece away from a key square, clearing squares, blocking squares, and controlling promotion squares.
I think he's trying to be serious, by the way. That's what makes us so bad, is I think he's trying to be serious. I don't think this is intended as like I think he's trying to be serious. I don't think it's like this isn't like one of those like those fun videos you make. I think he's being serious actually when he says this.
First, the decoy is a particularly fun theme where you lure an opponent's piece onto a vulnerable square where it can be exploited. Often this involves sacrificing a piece to set up some other more basic tactic, like a fork or a pin. A powerful hop-in from this black queen seeks to draw white's queen to d2. There, black can fork it while capturing this bishop. Another tactic, deflection, often looks very similar to a decoy. But it's the opposite case. Where a decoy uses a sacrifice to pull a piece to a vulnerable square, a deflection pulls it away from a key square. A deflection is also an example of a more general tactic, removing the guard or removing the defender. In this case, any manner of trickery is used to eliminate
I've got to rewatch this. Okay, I've got to rewatch this. Wait, what's he saying?
Or removing the
okay, removing the guard. Okay, you're removing the guard. Okay.
defender.
So wait, what is? So this is the queen, and these are all the pieces here. Wow. Okay.
In this case, any manner of trickery is used to eliminate a defender that is holding a critical piece or square. Queen takes h7 removes the pawn defending g6, setting up knight to g6 checkmate. Overloading is also a tactic that is a specialized form of removing the defender. In this case, one piece is stuck trying to defend two threats. You simply execute one threat and the overworked piece can no longer defend the other.
Knight f1.
Both the king and queen are trying to defend the f1 square and the d2 rook. Knight to f1 overloads them both, and black is able to capture the rook on the next turn. Moving on from tactics based on overwhelming defenders, we have a clearance sacrifice.
Okay, yep.
In this case, one of our pieces
Wait, what? What?
have a clearance sacrifice.
What? What? I'm a little confused. This is on the main Chess.com channel, you guys. It's not, his name is Clarence. His name is Clarence, by the way. Okay, maybe.
In this case, one of our pieces is on a critical square or line, and we sacrifice it to allow another piece to use that square or line with devastating effect. Bishop d4 was a stunning move from Chess.com's Pro Chess League that combined many themes, including interference to threaten mate on g7 and clearance to open the e-file for the rook to advance to e8 with checkmate. In some ways, the opposite of a clearance is a blockade. Here, our opponent needs a critical square or line, but we sacrifice a piece to clog that space. Had white captured on h5, black would have moved the pawn to attack the queen.
No, you guys, this is a video from 3 days ago. This is not some old video from 2012. This video is from 3 days ago. This is from 3 days ago. It's not some ancient video from 10 years ago. This is a video from 3 days ago. It's published by chess.com.
Skin of their teeth. Instead, white played the astounding blockade rook to d6. With no ability to free this bishop, black soon lost. The trapped piece is maybe the most self-explanatory tactic. Of course, the most important example of a trapped piece tactic is checkmate. Naturally, other pieces can be and often are trapped as well. In this pretty study, white surrenders seemingly the best asset in the position, the strong f-pawn, to maneuver the bishop around and trap the knight. Now white's king can simply march over and capture the hobbled horseman. Finally, promotion may be the most unique of all tactics. It's the only time in a chess game where new, powerful pieces re-enter the chessboard, so there exists a bevy of ideas that have a single goal: to promote a pawn to a new queen. In the Champions Chess Tour, Fabiano Caruana pulled out a classic opening trick against Alireza Firouzja. This rook sacrifice ensured that next move, the pawn would advance and threaten to promote on two different squares, leaving Firouzja no way to stop the appearance of fresh royalty.
Fabiano, he is cracking up over there because this never happens at the highest level.
After tactics based on lines and squares, we have tactics based on timing. In a game, you often have cases where you calculate a sequence of moves. I go here, she goes there, I go here, she goes there, I win. But sometimes a tactic can disrupt that flow and totally change the nature of the game. Our first timing tactic has 3 different and commonly used names, but they all mean the same thing. A Zwischenzug, intermezzo, or intermediate move is an unexpected move in between a sequence of moves that changes the outcome of a set of captures. The brilliant
Dating
knight
tips,
takes
yeah.
g3 sets up two different intermediate moves. First, after white captures black's queen, there's the royal fork, knight takes e2 check. Then black also snaps up the bishop with check while concluding by capturing the white queen. The excellently named Desperado is a tactic in which a doomed piece sacrifices itself for some gain. The piece is still lost, but the game may be won. Black expects white to capture the black queen.
It's almost over,
when
you
black
guys.
can
Almost
also
over.
capture white's queen. But white plays an intermediate check, also called a Zwischenzach, to give up the queen for the bishop. Then white can capture the black queen and be a piece up. Zugzwang is a tactic usually relegated too late in the game. It means
I mean, this Deutsch is a little bit sus, by the way. I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce it, by the way.
Zugzwang is a tactic
Zugzwang,
usually
isn't it
relegated too late in the game.
Zugzwang or something?
It means
It's like
compulsion to
Zugzwang,
move.
I believe.
In fact, if your opponent was allowed to pass,
I mean, I'm just saying, isn't it like Zugzwang? I could swear it's not Zugzwang or whatever he just said. How did he say it? One more time.
a piece up. Zugzwang is a tactic usually relegated too late in the game.
Zugzwang is not it, I don't
compulsion
think.
to move.
I don't think that's how you
In
say
fact,
it.
if your opponent was allowed to pass, many positions, even king and rook versus king, could not be won. But the opponent must move, and sometimes all moves surrender key points. Zugzwang simply means that you have placed your opponent in a position where they have to make a move that worsens their position. King
Oh my
H1
gosh, this
is
is
a
too funny.
stunner of a Zugzwang. One of the best moves of all time. Black must move the king or the bishop. They are fine where they are, but every single move will either let the pawn push through to promotion or walk into a knight fork that wins the bishop. Maybe the least known tactic on this list is the lifeline. This is often a defensive tactic.
Wait, what the heck? Lifeline what? Again, a phrase I've never heard in my entire life. Lifeline what? This isn't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Like, this is chess. Like, what is this? He's literally making, these are literally things that I've never heard of this. The lifeline? No, I'm just having fun with the video, you guys. Like, I mean, maybe these are new age terms. I just don't know. But yeah, haven't you heard of a lifeline? Phone a friend? Yeah, call Kramnik, exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Tactic, and it occurs when you are trying to defend against two threats. The situation is seemingly impossible, but you can defend against one threat and make a counter threat to the opponent. The opponent must capture your piece, and in doing so, they allow you to recapture with the other piece, saving both threats. International master Axel Smith coined this term, and in his book Pump Up Your Rating, he showed this example. Black escapes the knight fork with queen to f8. The trade of queens will also save the rook on a8. Our last set of tactics is drawing tactics. Sometimes the position is desperate and you seemingly have no way to save the game. But an incredible resource can allow you to eke out a valuable half point. The first drawing tactic is the perpetual attack. This is a bit like the trapped piece, but in this case you aren't able to actually win the piece. However, you can continually attack it.
By the way, I was told it's perpetual check, not perpetual attack, by the way. But that's not really a huge thing. But I always believed it was called perpetual check versus perpetual attack in these situations.
Opponent is unable to escape the threats.
Perpetual
Eventually,
assault?
the game will be drawn after repeating the position 3 times. The study composer Votava showed an incredible piece of geometry, with a pawn sacrifice setting up a perpetual attack from the king against the black rook, securing a draw. The most common case of perpetual attack is perpetual check. This is naturally a case of perpetual attack against the opponent's king. Stalemate tactics are
but again, the way he's perpetual attack against the opponent's king. Okay.
Often in play to save positions when you are down oodles of material.
Hey, it's the Rosen trap.
In many cases, stalemates occur as a result of catastrophic inattention from the attacker, but sometimes they can be the result of great ingenuity on the defensive side. My favorite stalemate trick ever occurred in a computer game where bishop b3 allowed white to follow up by sacrificing the remaining pieces and securing a miraculous half point. Finally, and truly finally, a fortress is another defensive fallback where, down material, you are able to construct
a is this my game against Serper? I think this might be my game from the US Championship, or it's very close to it, this end game.
A shell that the opponent simply cannot break. Phew, 31 tactics in one video. Every chess tactic.
I think that's is that my game against Gregory Serper? I could be wrong. Let me see. Serper, Nakamura, US Champs, 2000. Was that 2005? I guess, or whatever it was. 2004. Let me see. Let me see. I think that was my game, wasn't it? Or am I wrong? It's close. I might be wrong. It might have been a different game, but let me see. Okay, keep going, keep going. Oh, this is my game. Yeah, this is my game, you guys. I just found a random site, but like you guys can see the position. This is my game against Serper. This is my game against Serper from the US Championship in 2004. Yeah, I mean, exactly. This was my game. Yeah, exactly. So if we go back to the video, you'll see if we go back here. Yeah, this is exactly my game.
Where down material.
Yeah, this is exactly the game. See? Yep. Yeah. Of course. 2004 US Championship. That was in La Jolla. That was in San Diego. Many years ago.
Material. You are able to construct a shell that the opponent simply cannot break. Phew. 31 tactics in one video. Every chess tactic explained. How many were new to you? More importantly, did I miss any? If so, post them in the comments. If you are looking for puzzles to practice on, try chess.com/puzzles.
Okay. All right. Cool story. I swear he said 31 tactics. I feel like probably at least 10 of the things he said in there I'd never heard of before. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah, right. He said the big 31, so what was the big 4 exactly? Yeah, anyway, that was pretty funny. Big shout out to my mods for coming up with that video, because that actually made me laugh pretty hard. That was a good one. Try chess.com sluzzle. Yeah, okay, that was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that was a good one.